Coming up, the final hours of... The clock is running down at the COP26 Climate Summit. Now,
Lunchtime News with Lucrezia Millarini.
good afternoon. After 2 weeks of tough talk and ambitious proposals, the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow has just a few hours left to reach a resolution. The summit's president, Alok Sharma, published his draft decision this morning. Plans for finance and fossil fuels are in that document, but the target of keeping temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius could be in danger. World leaders have been frantically meeting to negotiate the details, and discussions are now likely to roll on past the deadline and into the weekend. Rebecca Barry has the latest. So what actually has been agreed so far? Well, So that is the pomp and politics of the COP26 event, but what does it actually mean for us? Well, according to a new report, 4 in 10 small businesses don't know how to achieve net zero, a target to balance the amount of greenhouse gas produced and the amount removed from the atmosphere. Well, joining me now is someone who knows a lot about... You're also you know a lot about the environment, and you're very keen on fighting against climate change. But what do you make of this figure here, that 4 in 10 small businesses aren't even sure how to achieve net zero? This is a problem, isn't it? Deborah, you're a very successful businesswoman. You are, of course, a dragon, and in your capacity at a Dragon's Den, you get to meet a lot of businesses that are just starting up, aren't they? They're just beginning. You know, when you do talk to these businesses, how can they approach becoming more sustainable? What is your advice to them? You mentioned there are meters and things like that, but what else should they be thinking generally about how they operate their business? So very, very briefly, final question. And being sustainable can actually be good for business. The next, more than 1,000 people risked their lives trying to reach the UK in small boats yesterday, a new record for migrant channel crossings in a single day. The government has said the figure is unacceptable and are calling on the French counterparts to do more. Our political correspondent. The Court of Appeal has declined to increase the sentence of a man who was jailed for choking his lover during sex. Sophie Moore. The chief executive of Prince Charles's charity has resigned after accusations he helped a major donor secure an honour. Michael Fawcett had temporarily stood down from the Prince's foundation in September. Charles has denied any knowledge of the alleged offer of honours to a donor. Let's speak to our royal editor, Chris Shipp. Chris, this is a man who was very close to the Prince. Still to come, how cabby... But first, singer Britney Spears has had her finances and many aspects of her life controlled by a controversial conservatorship for the last 14 years. But that could all come to an end later today. Back in September, the pop star's father, Jamie Spears, was ousted from the legal arrangement, and a judge could scrap it altogether in a hearing this evening. Britney is clearly feeling hopeful. Shoppers have been warned to think twice before buying gift cards for Christmas after a survey. Now, many of you will have heard about the long and laborious process taxi drivers go through before they can drive the British icon that is the London black cab, known as the Knowledge. Cabbies need to memorise the location of thousands of landmarks, but apparently all that knowledge could provide the key to fighting Alzheimer's, as Sangeeta Kandola explains. And finally, just before we go, if you don't like heights, you might want to look away now. But if you're in need of a bit of Friday motivation, we've got just the thing for you. Just go for a run. That's it. Mary's here with the evening news at 6:30. The news where you all follows the national weather. But from everyone on the lunchtime team, bye-bye. Hello again. Now the main stories in London. In a major intervention, the mayor has vowed to save Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. A police officer leading the investigation into the death of serial killer Stephen Port's final victim was unaware of the striking similarities between the previous deaths of young gay men in the area. Inspector Jason O'Donoghue told an inquest he was absolutely flabbergasted when he realised Jack Taylor... The husband of Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe is enduring his 20th day on hunger strike. Richard Ratcliffe. The Thames has been named the most beautiful stretch of water in Europe. Time for the weather now. Here's Philippa. Before we go, a quick look ahead to what's coming up at 6. And Duncan will be back here for all of that at 6, but from me, bye-bye.